Now to an AccuWeather alert concerning the dangerous haze still hanging over the city and the surrounding region tonight. And because of the continuing health hazard, all Philadelphia students will learn remotely tomorrow. More on that in a moment. We have team coverage this evening. Action News reporter Andy McCormick is live in Center City. But let's begin with meteorologist Cecily Tynan here in the studio with the very latest conditions. Cecily.
Well, Rick, fortunately, the air quality has dropped well below the hazardous levels. That's where we were this time last night. Last night at 10 o'clock, the air quality index for Philadelphia recorded 447. Now, that is the highest on record since records began back in 1999. At 4 o'clock in the morning, we were still in the hazardous zone. By 10 o'clock, though, dropped to 270. That's very unhealthy, and now we're in the unhealthy range. It's still not good, but it's a lot better than last night. 151. If we drop to 149, that becomes moderate. So the situation is definitely improving. The air quality index map, you can see that most of our area is in the orange. That's unhealthy for sensitive groups, and that's the air quality alert that's in effect for Pennsylvania and New Jersey tomorrow. Delaware, you're still in the red zone. Now, future tracker showing tomorrow we're not completely out of the smoke. You can see in the early afternoon hours that thickest smoke will be across Delaware and South Jersey. You get a little break in the action on Saturday morning before we get clipped with another area of diffuse smoke. So the situation will gradually get better heading towards the weekend. Sunday, though, is when you'll really notice a huge difference. So looking ahead, we have a slow but steady improvement over the next 2 days. Air quality alerts are still in effect tomorrow, so you do want to limit your time outdoors, especially any strenuous activities. And then Sunday, we get a strong wind out of the southwest that will clear the smoke away, also bring us a big warm up. And early next week, I'm tracking some much needed rain. I'll talk about that in the AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Rick?
All right, Cecily, we'll check back in later. Thank you. Now let's switch to Andy McCormick, who's live in Center City. And Annie, Philadelphia Public Schools are all going virtual tomorrow because of the smoke.
Yeah, and Rick, I will tell you, it is significantly better out here than it was last night. It's much easier to breathe. But earlier today, there were still a number of postponements and cancellations that were announced by the city out of an abundance of caution due to the air quality.
We will continue to follow guidance from the city and are beginning to explore alternatives to in-person learning as the air quality conditions continue to be hazardous.
Philadelphia school superintendent made the call late today. Tomorrow, all students will shift to virtual learning because of the smoky haze.
Student and staff safety and well-being continue to be a top priority for the school district.
Parents responding to the school's announcement on Twitter, one saying, so why were they permitted to attend school the past 2 days in the worst conditions? Makes no sense. Others pointed out students had already returned the Chromebooks used for virtual learning, saying you left most parents with no options with basically no notice. Events continue to be canceled or postponed. Sunday's Flavors on the Avenue, held on Passyunk Avenue, is also canceled. Its 12th installment pushed to next year.
Once the air quality in the city stopped outside work, that pushed back the paving, which was supposed to be done on Friday. So that was another motive for us to say, you know what, maybe it's in our best interest to cancel it.
The city canceled and postponed outdoor events. Phillies fans coming off of last night's postponement returned today. Ricardo Diaz thought last night they should have played.
Thought the game was still good to go, but they ended up canceling it. Today I had a good feeling.
And Rick, about an hour ago, the Streets Department put out a release saying that streets operations will resume tomorrow. That still will not affect that passing event that we were telling you about. They still have canceled that. I checked in with them. Additionally, any parents that were planning to go to graduations at any of the Philadelphia schools tomorrow are told by the school district that they will be contacted by their child's principal to give them guidance. For now, reporting live along the Parkway, Annie McCormick, Channel 6, Action News. Rick.
All right, Annie, thank you. In South Jersey, events continue to be postponed as well as the smoke keeps pushing through the area. Experts tell Action News the air quality in Trenton is the worst that it's been since they started measuring 20 years ago. State officials addressed the unhealthy haze earlier today.
The most effective way to prevent breathing harmful particles from wildfire smoke is to stay indoors with the windows and doors closed.
Down the shore, many walking on Ocean City's boardwalk said they didn't notice the smoky air But experts say the conditions are still hazardous despite the ocean breeze masking the situation. Major cities like Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and New York City are also still dealing with the smoky air. More than 100 million Americans are under dangerous air quality advisories tonight. Meanwhile, in Canada, where all of this smoke is coming from, more than 400 wildfires continue to burn out of control. Those fires have destroyed more than 9 million acres. That's about 15 times the normal amount for this point in the season. Well, you can keep track of the smoking conditions in your area with our 6ABC app. There you'll find an air quality tracker that gives you real-time access to data in your neighborhood.